During an argument with my childhood sweetheart, Ethan, he slapped me in the face in front of everyone in a fit of anger. That day, I deleted all his contact information. Everyone was in disbelief. Ethan and I had grown up together, and I had liked him since I was little, chasing after him for 9 years. Why, Emily? Just because of that slap? He asked, bewildered. Yes. Just because of one slap, I said with utmost seriousness. When Ethan's slap landed on my face, I didn't even register what had happened. The dull smack made me stumble, and my head buzzed. My left cheek first felt hot, then burned like fire. I covered my face, staring at him in confusion. My childhood sweetheart, Ethan, had slapped me in front of everyone when I got into an argument with the new student. Ethan realized what he'd done, his expression stiffening for a moment, but it was quickly replaced by anger and impatience. Can you stop causing trouble here, Emily? Go back to your seat. Some in the class snickered, while most remained silent, watching the drama unfold. Tiffany, standing next to Ethan, played with her beautiful chestnut curls, tutoring. Oh, Ethan, what are you doing? Can't you see your little princess is about to cry? Ethan's voice turned even colder at that. Emily, if you want to cry, go home. This is school, not a place for you to throw a princess syndrome tantrum anytime you want. Amidst the shame, hurt, and resentment, large tears welled up in my eyes. Amidst the jeering of the boys, I bolted out of the classroom. I didn't know where to go, but I didn't want to go to class, and I definitely didn't want to face the people in the classroom. Ethan had always been impatient with me, but being slapped by him was a first. Not only that, it was the first time I'd ever been slapped in my life. Ethan and I were childhood sweethearts, having known each other since we were 3. Our parents were best friends of over a decade, living across the hall from each other. I had liked Ethan since I was little. In elementary school, I was always bullied by other boys. One boy was the worst, pulling my hair from the back seat, putting gum on my chair, and even putting firecrackers in my desk. I went crying to the teacher, who reprimanded him but then smiled and said it was because he liked me. I didn't believe it. The boy didn't change, so I told my parents when I got home. My parents were furious and immediately wanted to go to the teacher. Uncle Lucas was visiting our house at the time and, hearing about it, called Ethan over and told him to protect me at school from then on. Ethan was the same age as me but not in the same class at the time. The next day during break, Ethan came to my class, dragged the boy out, and beat him up. He was tall for his age and had a tough personality, making the boy and his friends cry. As he left, he warned the other boys, anyone who dares to bully Emily again, you'll have me to answer to. That's when I started liking him. From then on, I became his sidekick, sticking by his side, following him wherever he went. Ethan didn't like me following him. He was a bit of a macho man and felt that playing with a delicate girl like me all day wasn't manly. But I persevered, chasing after him, calling him Ethan, Appa nonstop. After a few years, he gradually softened and stopped rejecting me so much. I noticed more and more that his gaze lingered on me, and when our eyes met, he would sometimes be lost in thought, and sometimes he would flinch as if he'd been shocked, stammer, and turn red before changing the subject. Uncle Lucas said that since the two kids got along so well, why not arrange an arranged marriage? Ethan didn't say anything, but he held my hand tightly. I saw his ears turn red. I felt sweet inside and said loudly, okay. I want to marry Ethan, Appa. But when we got to high school, everything started to change. At the end of the first semester of my freshman year, a new student came to OU. Our class. The new student was named Tiffany. I heard she transferred because of her parents' job transfer. She was a good student, with bright and pretty features. On her first day, she smiled and said to the homeroom teacher with a head of chestnut curls, "Teacher, this is natural, the hair color is light. And these are natural curls." Then, she glanced around our class. When she saw me, she stopped, stared at me for a moment, and suddenly burst out laughing. "OMG, save me, where did this Barbie princess come from? LOL. Everything is pink, oh my god, you're already in high school, are you trying to be cute? How embarrassing." Everyone's gaze followed hers and landed on me. My face turned red on the spot. I liked pink, especially. Almost everything I bought was pink: a pink backpack, a pink mug, pink hair clips, pink t-shirts, a pink sweater, a pink phone case, and even pink charms. Because of these things, I'd been talked about quite a bit. In elementary school, boys called me a drama queen and delicate, and girls would say I was pretending to be cute. But most people were nice, and more girls would tell me that I was super cute and that pink suited me especially well. It was the first time I'd been so directly and blatantly mocked in public, and I was confused and ashamed, wanting to find a hole to crawl into. LOL, sorry, I'm a bit blunt. Don't be mad, little princess, Tiffany said, winking playfully. Okay, it's your first day, say less, Ethan said impatiently. I turned around and saw Ethan frowning at Tiffany, looking displeased. Tiffany raised an eyebrow and stared at Ethan. Oh. Is the princess's guardian knight here? What are you talking about? Are you sick? Ethan snapped, slamming his hand on the desk. The teacher quickly scolded him and told him to sit down. Then, she arranged for Tiffany to sit in the empty seat. Whether it was a coincidence or not, the only empty seat in the class was in front of Ethan's desk. So, they became front and back neighbors. I didn't know when Ethan and she got close. But one day, very suddenly, the strawberry milkshake that Uncle Lucas had him bring me every morning was replaced with plain milk. I hate plain milk the most, don't you know? I said, a little unhappy, staring at the carton of plain milk in my hand. Okay, isn't it just because the strawberry milkshake box is pink? You're so old, what's with drinking strawberry milkshake every day? Drink plain milk from now on, it's healthy, Ethan said, patting my head. Tiffany also had a carton of plain milk in her hand and, upon hearing this, turned her head and smiled, seemingly embarrassed. Sorry, Pinky. I like plain milk, so I had Ethan bring this, she said. But strawberry milkshake is too sweet, it's really greasy. Do all you little girls like to drink this? I put down the milk and frowned at her. Do you like giving people nicknames? She stiffened, then looked surprised and helpless. LOL, why are you making such a big deal out of it? I was just joking. You're too sensitive, oh my god. Am I sensitive, or are you feeling guilty? You know that in your heart, I said. Okay, Emily, Ethan stopped us, looking troubled. Tiffany sometimes doesn't think before she speaks, don't take it to heart, he said. I was so angry that my eyes turned red. I pushed Ethan hard and didn't forget to scold Tiffany. If you can't talk, then don't talk. Ethan was startled and quickly wrapped his arms around my waist, saying without thinking, okay, I was wrong, don't be angry, I'll bring you strawberry milkshake tomorrow, okay? Seeing this, Tiffany's face changed, and she stared at me intently. The next day, Tiffany started targeting me. When I took out pink packaged tissues, she exclaimed, wow. You even use pink tissues. Are you trying to package yourself as a Barbie doll? During cleaning, I used a wet tissue to wipe the broom handle, and she winked at the boys. Princess syndrome alert. During the KLY seat changes, I got tired from moving my desk and wanted to rest for a while, and Tiffany shouted in class, the princess can't move it anymore. Quick, Get some knights to help the princess move things. Whenever this happened, the boys she was friends with would cheer her on, as if they found it very interesting, laughing more happily than the last. Ethan initially felt it wasn't right and would stop her with a few words. But Tiffany said casually, "It's just a joke, Emily is usually too uptight, I'm helping her get along with her classmates." Hearing this, Ethan nodded thoughtfully. Emily does have a bit of princess syndrome. Are all girls like this nowadays? Tiffany punched him on the shoulder. Hey, 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 I'm not, don't lump me in with them. Ethan smiled. I felt sour inside. Actually, I always knew that Ethan thought I was delicate and had a small temper. Maybe for most boys, liking pink, being clean, and being weak meant princess syndrome. Finally, one time, I couldn't take it anymore. That semester, I went to the beach with my parents during the summer vacation, and my skin got a lot darker. Actually, this had happened a few times before, and I would usually just stay indoors for half a month and it would get lighter again, so I didn't care. Not long after school started after the summer vacation, I wore a pink shirt under my school uniform. When Tiffany saw it, she raised her voice exaggeratedly. "Oh my God! Emily, your skin is so dark, and you're still wearing pink? Don't you think it's ridiculous?" "No, LOL, I'm dying of laughter. How can you still be a princess like that? What kind of princess is so dark?" "I think you're more like a little black dog, lololol." She and a few boys laughed together. Ethan seemed to find it funny too, and the corners of his mouth turned up. At that moment, immense confusion and shame overwhelmed me, and I felt the blood rush to my head, clenching my fists. Amidst their laughter, I picked up my cup and splashed W. A tear on her face. Tiffany was stunned, frantically wiping her wet face. She was wearing makeup, and it was a little smudged by the water. Cough, cough, cough. What are you doing? Are you sick? Oh my God, I mimicked her, going to school with double eyelid tape, foundation, and lipstick. No wonder you're not a princess. Are you here to sell smiles? An actress? A few boys frowned and stopped me, led by Ethan, who grabbed the cup from my hand. "Emily, apologize," he said, looking down at me with a frown, coldly. My eyes turned red, and I stared at him intently. "Didn't you hear what she said to me? She said I was like a dog. One thing at a time, you've already cursed back. Now you have to apologize for splashing water on her. Admit you did wrong, listen to me. Stop being petty." He said it for granted. "Apologize, Tiffany won't hold it against you." I sneered. "Apologize your mom." Ethan's eyes widened, and he slapped me hard. I didn't go to class that day and went straight home. I rushed into my room and frantically searched the entire house, making a mess of the bookshelf, closet, and storage cabinet. I took a large cardboard box and found all the things Ethan had given me since I was little, throwing them all in. It filled a whole box, making sure nothing was missed. I picked up the box, rushed downstairs, and threw it all in the trash can. After doing all this, my parents weren't home yet, so I called my mom. "Hey, baby, what's wrong?" "Mom, when you come back today, go and tell Uncle Lucas and Aunt Clara that Ethan and I are breaking up." And I said coldly, "From today onwards, Ethan is not allowed to step into my house. Tell him to get as far away as possible." After my mom came home, she looked at the slap mark on my face, both anxious and angry. I told her what had happened during this time. My mom's veins were popping as she listened, and she immediately went to knock on Ethan's door. Aunt Clara was still confused, and my mom explained everything completely without saying a word. How Ethan slapped me hard, how he watched the new student verbally bully me for a long time, laughing at me and doing nothing, and how he finally stood in front of her to help her. Aunt Clara's face turned green and white. Our two families had actually had a very good relationship for so many years, but today it cracked because of me. But my mom didn't blame me. Instead, she gently said, "Our Emily can't be bullied by anyone. Whatever choice you make, your dad and I will support you." The suppressed grievances and sadness erupted, and my nose tingled. I hugged my mom and cried. Ethan came home late at night and must have seen the things I threw away in the trash, knocking on the door in anger. "Emily! Come out! We need to talk," he said. I opened the door. Facing me was Ethan's cold face. "Why did you throw away all the things I gave you? What's it to you?" I stared at him coldly. The mark from the slap that morning was still on my face. Ethan hadn't held back, and my cheek was swollen, with clear finger marks. Not only did it not fade with time, but it was getting worse. Ethan's expression changed, and he stared blankly at the marks on my face. After a long while, he said blankly, "How could it be so bad?" Then, he reached out to touch me, but I took a step back, expressionless. I rarely got hurt. In the past, whenever I bumped or scratched myself, I would complain to Ethan with tears in my eyes, wanting him to coax me. Actually, I wasn't afraid of pain. My nerves were relatively dull, and sometimes I wouldn't notice a scratch on my body for days, but I just wanted to be spoiled in front of the person I liked. On the contrary, Ethan, who said I was weak and delicate, actually enjoyed being relied on by me. But now, I wasn't going to play along. Ethan had never seen me so cold, and he was a little incredulous for a moment. "I didn't mean to, Emily. It's just that you were cursing so much, and I got angry for a moment." I interrupted him. "Since you're here, let's get things straight. From today onwards, we'll pretend we don't know each other. Please call me by my full name from now on. Don't talk to me when you see me at school, and don't come knocking on my door like tonight ever again," I said. After saying that, I was about to close the door. Ethan grabbed my hand, staring at me with a gaze that went from guilt to anger to confusion. "Is it that serious, Emily? If you're angry because I hit you, I'll apologize. Don't you think you're being extreme? Have you ever thought about regretting it later?" "I won't regret it." "Why?" he asked, suppressing his anger. "Just because I accidentally slapped you?" "Yes, just because of one slap," I said with utmost seriousness. "Okay, since you insist on it, then so be it." Ethan laughed in anger and slammed the door shut. The next day, Ethan and Tiffany announced loudly in class that they were officially dating. I wasn't surprised. Looking back now, everything was actually traceable. When Tiffany first transferred, she quickly became friends with the boys in the class because of her cheerful and straightforward personality. But she rarely played with the girls. In her words, "Oh, I only like playing with boys. It's easier to play with boys than with girls, and I won't be talked about behind my back. Girls are too complicated and are always scheming, I can't stand it. And those girls are all delicate. If you say one wrong thing, they'll hold a grudge. I can't get along with them. It's more comfortable to be with boys." Because of these remarks, the girls in the class didn't like her. Seeing this, Tiffany pouted at the boys, looking helpless. I get it, I shouldn't have said they were complicated, I've offended them badly now. Oh well, I'm definitely going to be ostracized by the girl group again. Oh well, I'm used to it." In this way, we were made to feel neither up nor down by her. It was clearly she who didn't play with us, saying we were delicate and complicated. But when no girls paid attention to her, she would accuse us of isolating her and forming small groups to ostracize her. After going home, I couldn't help but complain to my parents. Baby, Mom understands your feelings. Mom has also met people like this before. When you meet people like this, don't pay attention to them, don't be influenced by them. And don't become close to them. Ethan happened to come to our house and frowned slightly upon hearing this. He was the type of person who rarely discussed others in private and didn't like our behavior. Uncle and Aunt Emily, it's not good to talk about others behind their backs like this. My parents and I were very embarrassed and quieted down. I later learned that, at some point, he and Tiffany had established a deep friendship. Tiffany was good at English and sat in front of Ethan, so she often volunteered to tutor Ethan, who was very bad at English. I used to do this, but half a month after Tiffany transferred, she naturally took over. Tiffany also played basketball and was good friends with the boys, many of whom were Ethan's close friends, so they naturally became closer. Ethan's impression of her also changed. From the classmate who inexplicably mocked others on her first day to a warm-hearted and cheerful girl who speaks a little bluntly. Ethan, who hated being around girls all day, quickly accepted Tiffany's existence. In class, he and Tiffany passed notes and laughed out loud without regard for others. After school, he carried the smiling Tiffany on the back of his bicycle, noisy and lively with a group of brothers. I often felt sad and lost because of this, but I always comforted myself that they were just ordinary friends. I thought that Ethan liked me. The facts proved that I was really presumptuous and overestimated myself. Ethan and I are seriously dating, unlike some people who stick to people under the name of childhood sweetie. RT, giving themselves away for free, Tiffany said, sitting on Ethan's lap, smiling. Then, she said meaningfully, by the way, although I know you girls like to report things to teachers behind your backs, I still hope that some students don't report us for dating to the teachers, it seems very classless. Ethan remained non-committal. Some people in the class congratulated them, while others secretly looked at my face. Ethan and I were childhood sweethearts, and almost everyone knew that I liked him. I was only close to Ethan in the entire class, and originally he only had me by his side. My desk mate looked at me worriedly. I didn't raise my head and focused on reading. The atmosphere was a little awkward for a moment. Ethan snorted and looked away from me. After that, their relationship became more and more intimate. During breaks, Tiffany took off her hair tie and put it on Ethan's hand, playfully ordering him not to take it off. During class, they secretly passed notes under the table, and Ethan would sometimes laugh out loud without regard for others. They went to lunch together, and Tiffany snatched the chicken nuggets from Ethan's plate, and Ethan indulged her helplessly. After school, Tiffany sat on the back of his bicycle, her arms wrapped tightly around his waist, looking like a close-knit couple. After all, it had been 10 years. At first, I inevitably felt uncomfortable, but I quickly got used to it. Just when I thought we wouldn't have any more interaction, Ethan stopped me at the school gate after school. Emily, he said, his tone deep, his expression complex, like anger, like joy, I couldn't understand it. Tiffany called in sick today, he said, looking at me. I didn't react for a moment. What did this have to do with me? So? I asked. Seeing this, Ethan said directly, what did you say to her? I was stunned and said briefly, what could I say to her? I've never spoken to her voluntarily. I'm not the type of person who likes to chat, and is speechy. Ally not with people like Tiffany. I find her disgusting even if I look at her once. If she doesn't bother me, I won't say a word to her in a year. What could I say to her? Ethan's eyes were full of disbelief, and he questioned, she was fine when I took her home last night, but she called in sick today. I called her and asked her what was wrong, and she just cried, saying she was sorry to you and asked you not to be angry anymore. Tell me the truth, what did you say to her? Did you hit her? Are you sick? I didn't want to get entangled and tried to leave, pushing him away. A strong force came from behind. Ethan grabbed my wrist, staring at me like a beast capturing its prey. Emily. I know you're not happy about us dating, but you don't have to do this. Have you forgotten? You're the one who suggested we pretend we don't know each other, no matter how jealous you are now. He wanted to say something, but stopped. After a while, he said softly, as long as you apologize to me, we can pretend that what happened before never happened, and we'll be fine. Ethan's tone was a little eager, as if impatiently waiting for my response. I couldn't help but interrupt him. Are you sick? Let go. Who's apologizing to you? I said I didn't do anything. You two can date however you want. I'm very happy. Give birth to 10 kids in the same spot. Lock it up, okay? Let go. Ethan's face turned pale, looking at me in disbelief, but his hand didn't move. Just when I wanted to struggle, a hand pressed down on Ethan's arm. Hey, that's not very nice to a girl, is it? I looked over and saw a boy wearing a school uniform about the same age as us. David Miller? I said subconsciously. David was a senior at our school, and I had once been teammates with him in a provincial math competition representing the school. However, we didn't have much interaction at that time, so we weren't familiar. I could remember him because his face was unforgettable. What was he doing here? Say. Seeing the questioning look in my eyes, David looked at me and winked mischievously. Then, he put force on his hand, and Ethan's face gradually turned ugly. I took the opportunity to break free and ran away without looking back. On Wednesday, during PE class, I was feeling a little unwell, but I didn't pay much attention to it. Under the teacher's direction, I ran laps with my classmates. Boys and girls ran separately, with the girls running first and the boys waiting on the side. As I was running, I suddenly felt dizzy, and my limbs felt weak and limp. I realized that my low blood sugar had struck. But it was too late. I stumbled and knelt on the track in a mess. There was a burst of exclamations around me. Soon, a footstep quickly approached me, and a hand strongly wrapped around my arm, pulling me up. It was Ethan. Your low blood sugar acted up? Did you not eat properly again? Running in this state, can you take responsibility for yourself? Does it hurt where you fell? I'll take you to the nurse's office. He was rambling in my ear. I was already annoyed by the fall, and the gazes of the other students made me even more uncomfortable. I struggled hard, trying to take my arm out. Don't touch me, I can walk by myself. He growled. Is now the time to be throwing a tantrum? Can you care about your body? I'll just take you to the nurse's office, and I'll leave after I drop you off. You can be at ease, right? I laughed angrily. Didn't you understand? Is low blood sugar a very serious illness? I just need to sit down for a while. Am I about to die? Do I have to have you take me to the nurse's office? Ethan gritted his teeth. After a long while, he squeezed out a few words. Do you have to be so ungrateful? I stared at him calmly. If you have to think that way, then I can't help it. Ethan flung my hand away and strode away without looking back. There was no one in the nurse's office, except for a student sitting on a bed. It was David. Seeing me, his eyes lit up and he smiled. Hi, Emily, hello. What a coincidence, are you here at the nurse's office too? I nodded towards him perfunctorily. I realized that David was injured, and it was much more serious than my little fall. His knee was covered with a thick layer of gauze, and blood was seeping out from the inside, turning the white gauze red. Noticing my gaze, he looked down and scratched his head embarrassedly. There was a patch of turf that was torn up on the playground, and I didn't notice it, so I fell while playing ball. It's not a big deal, It's just a flesh wound.